KCRA3, this is breaking news.
And right now, following a severe, actually a tornado warning, which has now been issued for parts of areas, especially including around central Yuba County and also west central Nevada County. So this impacts areas, especially if you live just outside or around the Loma Rica area, where you can see there's a lot of lightning. That purple area indicating some good, almost pea-sized to dime-sized hail in that area. And then the red polygon that you're seeing there right now as I advance the frame is going to be the area where we are tracking this tornado warning. It was just issued by the Weather Service at 2:24 this afternoon. Keep in mind there's potential that this storm could produce some brief heavy gusts of wind, and those that are outside need to seek shelter immediately, especially from areas like Loma Rica into Lake Wildwood, Grass Valley, and then the far tip here extends here into Nevada City as well. So these two areas are the ones of concern. Again, it's producing a lot of lightning right now, some hail, and when we get underneath a tornado warning, what this typically means, and this is extended until 3:15 this afternoon, that someone or a spotter or someone from the Weather Service has seen at least a funnel cloud or potential where there could be flying debris and things like that. So a tornado warning means that we could have a tornado and it could touch down in these areas here that are covered in the polygon. So again, we're going to be keeping an eye on this, and I continue to track the radar to see just how the hail is in that area. And again, most of these areas indicating that there has been hail of any size, quarter-sized hail actually reported here. Radar has indicated some rotation as well. If you're in the area that's underneath the tornado warning, make sure you do seek shelter, stay away from windows, and find the interior room in your home. Especially, you don't want to take any time. Don't go out there to try to take pictures or video or anything like that if you are under any of these conditions. It's certainly been a very active afternoon, an impact day here at KCRA, and let's go back to again where the warning is, and that is for central Yuba County, also for west central Nevada County. A tornado warning has been issued until 3:15, so we still have over 30 minutes to go until this would actually expire. If I can go in a little bit closer here and see if I can actually see any of the rotation here indicated by radar. Again, looking at this cell, it's producing quite a bit of lightning. That hail has now been reported up to about a quarter size. That could damage vegetation, and that can certainly damage people, or not people, but excuse me, can lead to some injuries and things like that if you were underneath that. So areas like Lake Wildwood, also areas around Dobbins, as well as some of the wildlife refuge out there, are certainly going to be impacted. So Nevada City, Penn Valley, you could be impacted along with Loma Rica. Of course, take cover, move to an basement or an interior room of the lowest part of the floor. A sturdy building is important as well. Avoid being around windows if you are underneath this tornado warning. You can see it extends from Loma Rica Road all the way to Marysville Road. Quite a bit of lightning, quarter-sized hail indicated with it as well. And as I put a track on this, you can actually see some heavy downpours along with that hail and the lightning. And when I put a tracker on this, I'll show you exactly where this cell continues to move. It continues to work its way east. And of course, if you do see a funnel cloud, or if you know anybody that's working outside for a living, make sure that they do seek shelter. You do not want to be in an environment like this. So areas like Bridgeport, Pleasant Valley Elementary School, this could be tracking in that direction within the next 5 to 6 minutes. French Corral, Birchville, those areas are all impacted again for areas there around and into spots like into Yuba County and Nevada County. This is a severe thunderstorm that they believe is capable of producing a tornado, especially near the area of Timbuktu and about 14 miles west of Grass Valley. The current track of this, it's moving to the east at 15 miles per hour. So I'm going to again put radar in motion to show you exactly the track and the cause for concern. Of course, the warning is the highest threshold that we get when we get in a situation like this. If there is a watch, that just means the conditions are ripe for potential for thunderstorms or tornadoes, but now we have a warning. So ladies and gentlemen, this does mean if you are in any of these areas, as this cell continues tracking and moving to the east at about 15 miles per hour, you definitely want to be indoors. And if you know someone who's outside that can't get under a rooftop, being in a car is also a good idea as well. The cell continues tracking off to the east. Again, I will do a tracker on it to show you specific locations of concern, and you can see the polygon here as well as it is continuing to track to the east at about 15 miles per hour. Areas like Camp Nurse, Willow Valley, North Columbia, you all can be impacted or inundated with at least some quarter-sized hail. Frequent lightning within this cell, and again, there could be some damaging winds, especially as you look at this center of rotation. As I look at kind of the shear marking here to show you exactly what it's the strength of it at this point. So again, looking closer at the radar sweep, areas like Grass Valley, Loma Rica impacted, and you can see that that polygon extends not only into one county but also into two counties of concern, Central Yuba County and also West Central Nevada County, impacted by this tornado warning. This is up until, again, it's going to go until 3:15 p.m. So we still have several minutes. And once again, cannot stress enough that if you're underneath this tornado warning, take shelter, get away from the windows, seek the interior part of your home. And again, please do not go outside and try to take any video or anything as this storm is rolling through. It is dangerous, again, producing frequent lightning, quarter-sized hail as it continues tracking off to the east. We've got this tornado warning up until 3:15. We do have some video right now to show you from one of the alert cameras, Alert California cameras, I believe. And there we go. What we're looking for is potential rotation in those clouds. And as you can see, this is a severe thunderstorm, which has now turned into a tornado warning. Curtis?
Yeah, so this camera right here you're looking at is at Paynes Creek we're looking at right there. And yeah, you could see the clouds there, very dark, very ominous. And reiterating what Tamara was saying, you know, if you are in this area, you should take cover now. The Weather Service wants you to move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. You're going to want to avoid those windows. And if you're outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, you should move to the closest substantial shelter. Protect yourself from flying debris. As you know, that's the biggest hazard when we do have tornadoes is the debris that starts flying around. Torrential rain is happening right now, as you know, and there could also be some flash flooding. So if you see some flooded roadways right now, definitely do not drive through it. But just very curious, Cameron, when you look at that video that we've been showing there, what really stands out to you as we look at this area under this severe weather warning? Yeah, you know, what I'm looking for is, of course, any rotation in the clouds. And then, of course, I pair what I'm looking at from that vantage point of the clouds with radar, and we're also looking for radar producing any sort of hook echo. A hook echo, if you will, is really what gets the attention on radar and garners any sort of warning, especially when you're looking at a tornado environment. Not surprised to see this with how ripe things are outside on a day like this. We've had sunny breaks, we've had clouds, cold air has worked in. You've felt that during the day, and now we have this tornado warning, Curtis, which is going to extend. It's going until 3:15 from the National Weather Service. And as I do a closer view here, I'm also looking at that hail that could really do damage, especially across vegetation. It's quarter-sized, and also a lot of lightning coming in with this. And then here is that hail, signature hail up to almost a ½ inch in diameter. That's, again, roughly a quarter size. That could do damage. You don't want to be outside in that. You just don't want to be outside, period, in the conditions like this. And